Mosaic tradition means when you read in my book and you say Mosaic tradition, it means that all Hittite system, covenantal system we find in the 5 books of Moses. It is what we call Mosaic tradition. That's so. If you read any book and you find anything which we call Mosaic tradition, it is the one which encompasses the 5 books of Moses. And there you'll be able to see the covenant flashing out from page to page. It is not only in the 10 Commandments, but it is all over the 5 books. Behave, do good, you'll be blessed, and if you don't do good, you will not be blessed, you will not have no blessings. And so we have that element in the entire 5 books of Moses. Now, so far, we have Abrahamic covenant, which was an assurance to Abraham by way of revision. It was an assurance to Abraham that I am becoming a national God. And when I become a national God, then I will work with you, with your progeny, and I'll make them a big group and a family which no man can number. That is that is Abrahamic. You see, when we refer to Mosaic tradition, we are talking about the entire tradition as we find in what we call the Pentateuch. The Pentateuch, it means the 5 books of Moses. All of those, the covenantal system of the Hittite flashes out. You continue to see from one book, from Exodus to Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy. Those books have been tailored, and they have been tailored around what is called Mosaic covenant. Now, Mosaic covenant covers what we call the Exodus, the wandering in the wilderness. You know, they took 40 years wandering in the wilderness. God was only planning to kill off all of those who have been slaves because their brains were really very weak, until he will leave the young generation which has been born free, which has grown free, so that it can go and fight and be able to meet the challenges which are found in the new land. So when we talk of Exodus, wilderness wandering, and then after that, the entrance in Canaan, that's what we may call the Mosaic covenant, Mosaic tradition. Mosaic tradition covers all that area. As we will go on with our pre-understanding, chances are that we will come to a point where we will have phrases like that this prophet was preaching to the people using Mosaic covenant, using Mosaic tradition. It covers all of that area with that system. Now, but since God accepted the system to be used, don't think that it came from heaven. Only God accepted for the sake that you at that time, that's what humanism knew. That is the system. When God reveals himself, he uses the very system which you and I know. Any system outside my knowledge, he does not use it because it will not be helpful. It cannot produce dividends. For a very long time, Israel lived with the Mosaic tradition. There was no any other tradition up to that time. Mosaic tradition ruled supreme, but it changed the theological thinking of Israel. Israel thought that if we do good, that's when God can bless us, because that's precisely what the Hittite covenant says to the vassal king. If you are obedient, I will take care of you. If you are good, I will always make sure that I protect you. You will have plenty. You will have peace. That's not God speaking. It is the Hittite covenant speaking. But Israel, though it would have been more conversant with the tradition, took it literally, and it thought that that's what God is saying. God is saying, if you behave well, then I will bless you. I will keep you from all the diseases which come. I will be very good. But if you do bad, then you will have the curses. But I want to assure you that God did not abide with such kind of things. Not everything which happened to Israel happened because they had sinned. Many of those things, as we will see later on, came partly because of their negligence, or partly because we are living in this world of sin, whereby misfortunes can come. Sometimes the misfortunes follow them due to lack of preparation also, especially the wars, and their armies were untrained, and they were unprepared, and they found themselves in trouble. The Hittite covenant is going to be the culprit to contribute to Israel's theology. These ideas that if you do good, I will bless you. If you don't do good, I will not bless you. I will kill you. I will bring the diseases upon you, and you will suffer, making God to appear as an avenger. You see, not God the Father, but God as an avenger. What brought that? It is not God himself, but it is the system which God accepted it to use for the sake of Israelites to understand him. Because had he used something else, then they wouldn't have understood. Let me repeat myself again. God was able to tolerate polygamy, but that does not mean that he was for polygamy. You see? Yes. I want you to get that very well. God tolerated the killing of each other. When you read the Pentateuch and the Hexateuch, you will see a lot of killings among themselves. You see? But God took it easy, because that's how those people knew how to survive, to behave. They were people of their own time. They were ancient people, and there is no way God would have changed it so abruptly, and those people would have been able to understand it. Now, the problem with this is that we have inherited the Jewish misunderstanding. That's why many of us, we give offerings and tithe to be blessed. We don't give tithe and offerings for gratitude. We give tithe and offerings for blessing purposes only. If you give, you will be blessed. Now, look at all these pastors who have been giving tithe and offerings for years. None of them is driving a Prado.